You spent years, maybe decades, optimizing your savings rate, calculating your withdrawal rate, running Monte Carlo simulations, and dreaming about the day you'd finally walk away. And then you did. And it was quiet. Maybe a little too quiet. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. But no one warned you about that part. No one warned me either. I was a tenured professor, and I gave it all away because I finally found what I thought I wanted: freedom. What I found instead was emptiness. Here's the thing the FIRE community is absolutely brilliant at: the math. The 4% rule, the index funds, the lean FIRE versus fat FIRE debate, the spreadsheets. You've done the math on your nest egg, but have you done the math on the 2,000 plus weeks of freedom? Because here's what I've come to believe, having lived on the other side of that finish line. Financial independence gives you freedom from something, but nobody asks the harder question: what are we free for? We've been conditioned to see retirement as a finish line. Cross the finish line, and you win. But for many of us, it's not a finish line. Retirement is a doorway. And on the other side of that door, there's no map. You wouldn't retire without a financial plan. So why retire without a purpose plan? When I first retired, I didn't have one. And I gotta tell you, I was lost. Not financially, not in an unhealthy way, just unmoored, untethered, adrift. So here's what I did, and it sounds embarrassingly simple. I started walking. Not hiking with gear and goals and summit selfies. Just walking, slowly, through cities I didn't know, along coastlines I'd never seen, through neighborhoods where I didn't speak the language. And something happened on those walks that no spreadsheet had ever given me. I started to hear myself think again. When you strip away the title, professor, department chair, expert, authority, who are you? When nobody needs you to produce anything by Friday, what do you actually value? When there's no agenda, what direction do you naturally walk? Those aren't rhetorical questions. At this phase of life, those are the real questions that you have to start answering. And walking helped me start answering them. I've walked along the cliffs at Noosa Heads in Australia. I've walked the Blue Mountains. I've walked through the Mekong Delta, through Bangkok at dawn, along beaches in Vietnam where I was the only person who didn't belong, and somehow felt completely at home. The younger me wanted a plan. The older me just wants a horizon. And that shift from plan to horizon is the fundamental psychological move that makes post-FIRE life actually fulfilling. I want to give you a word that I've started living: Soulseeing. Not sightseeing, Soulseeing. Sightseeing is checking boxes. It's the itinerary, the famous landmarks, the photos for Instagram. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not enough to build a life around. Soulseeing is different. It's exploring the world with intention, with slowness, with the willingness to be changed by what you encounter, rather than just photographing it. It means sitting long enough in a place to feel it, not just see it. It means talking to Buddhist monks, and not just visiting a pagoda. It means talking to the coconut candy makers, not just buying a bag at the market. It means watching the tide come in, and not checking your phone. The FIRE community has mastered the how to get there. What I want to talk to you about is the practice that fills the time after you arrive. Because peace isn't something you chase. It's something you sit with. And that is a radical reorientation for people who spent a decade in relentless optimization mode. One of the things that replaced the desire for workplace productivity in my post-FIRE life was volunteering. Now, I want to be careful here. I'm not talking about volunteering in a congratulatory sense. I'm not talking about going to a place and helping people who didn't ask for your help. I'm talking about showing up at a place with humility, with curiosity, willing to receive as much as you think you're going to give. When I volunteered in different communities across Southeast Asia and Australia and New Zealand. I wasn't the expert anymore. I was the student. And there's extraordinary freedom in that. It gave me something that early retirement had taken away. A sense of being useful. Of not mattering because of my title or my salary, but because I was present and I cared. Your money has compound interest. Your purpose needs compound impact. What if the goal of FIRE is not to stop working? It's to start working on what actually matters. I'm not saying go back to a job. I'm saying find the thing that makes Monday morning feel like an opportunity rather than a void. For me, it was volunteering. For you, it could be the grandkids or the garden. Whatever you choose, I want to leave you with the mindset shift that I think makes all the difference. The FIRE journey, according to most people, is about accumulation and then subtraction. You make enough money and then you subtract work from your life. But I've learned the real journey is one of addition, not adding more possessions or even more destinations. Definitely not more resume lines. I'm talking about adding depth, adding presence, adding more relationships and experiences that your busy self earlier in life didn't have time for. You don't need youth to begin this phase. You just need curiosity. And you already have that, or you wouldn't have done the hard work to get here. So here's where I want to land. So if you have reached FIRE, or if you're close, I want to ask you something. Not about withdrawal rate or asset allocation. I want to ask, what does your next chapter actually look like? Not in financial terms, in human terms. What will you wake up for? What will make Tuesday feel alive? Who do you want to become when the title is gone and the calendar is empty? Don't rush to fill the space. That's what we normally do. We try to fill it, optimize it, but the space is actually the gift. Let the journey unfold. I'm walking this journey in real time, and I'll keep sharing what I find. If this resonated with you, subscribe to this channel, and more importantly, drop a comment below and tell me you've reached FIRE, or you're planning to. What does life on the other side look like to you? I'll read every comment, because this is a conversation, not a lecture. I've left lecturing behind. See you on the next walk.